Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is episode 2 of the statement season. Thank you for everyone who tuned in to watch the first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. So today's episode is going to be a wrap up of this weekend just gone, and wow, what an episode this is going to be. So this weekend, coming in from the last show, we had 3 athletes. We had Brandon, Emily and Marnie all coming in from a very strong first showing of the season. First up for the Pro Qualifier was going to be Brandon. Just to give a summary for those of you who didn't watch the first episode, is our classic physique athlete. He was coming into the show after 2 overall wins, 2 out of 2. So an excellent start for him coming into this show as the front runner. Next up would have been Marnie. So Marnie finished second in the first show, very, very close in the overall. An excellent first showing for Marnie. And finally, last but not least, was Emily, who also finished second in her show, who was second to the overall winner from the original Kingdom Classic, which was 2 weeks ago. So coming in very, very strong into this show. So just to start the roundup for how this weekend has just gone, Brandon was first up. We decided to come in a little bit tighter this time round. So we come in about 1 kilo lighter overall. And the plan was always just to make sure that we kind of peaked for the big show. So we planned to just come in that little bit tighter. Brandon's feedback was basically pretty much bringing the same package. So we aimed to do that, but with bringing in condition to be a little bit tighter. So an excellent standard of showing in the classic physique classes. First time round, Brandon was in the class on his own. So going into the overall, he wasn't against as many people as he was he was against much more people this time round, than the first time round. But I think he had 6 people in his class, and an unbelievable class. So you had a guy from the first show, Alex Davis, who was in Class D first time round, but was in Class C this time round, who Brandon beat in the overall, coming into his class. Brandon, and then also a guy called Matt, who was from Ireland, so didn't need to do a regional to come into the show, with an excellent physique. So the guys were all moving around, they all come out on stage. There were some real big battles between the 3 of them. Pretty much all 3 of them were centre stage for the whole time. There were some shots that I think Brandon won, some shots that Matt won. It was very close. Unfortunately, Brandon did come out second in his class, but I got some feedback from the judges after, and he literally missed out on winning by a point, which is just so frustrating. Because he was so close. Matt did go on to win the pro card, so the guy who beat Brandon did go on to win the card, and he looked fantastic, very much deserved. So a huge congratulations to Matt on his win. Very close for Brandon. A little bit of a kick in the teeth for us going into the show unbeaten, but that's just the way it is in bodybuilding. You don't go through a bodybuilding career being unbeaten. A little bit of a shame, but plans for Brandon moving forward. So we have made the decision that we will go into an off season from now. There will be no more pro qualifiers or shows for Brandon this year. The plan is to grow. So I don't know exactly when we're going to come back, but next time we come back, we are going to come back with a vengeance. And mark my words, the next time I talk about Brandon on one of these videos, I will be talking with a pro card in hand. Next up on the day was Marnie. Again, as I mentioned before, coming into the show as a winner in her class. So planning to come in strong for this one. Marnie's feedback, as expected, was to just come in a little bit tighter from the first show, which is exactly what we was planning to do all along. I never planned to peak Marnie for the regional, so the plan was to come in at our best for the pro qualifier. So Marnie was next up in Class A. 3 people in her class, in my opinion, walked the class. A very good showing from Marnie. Next up was Emily, and we could not believe it when we found out there was going to be 12 girls in her class, the biggest class of the day. That was across all of the classes, not just bikini. I'm talking bodybuilding, classic, figure, all of the classes. Emily had 12 girls in her class, which was huge, and an incredible lineup. Emily coming into the show second place from first time round, being beaten by Becky West, who won the overall. Becky was in the class again, and unfortunately Becky did nick it again, so Emily getting second, but to get second in a lineup of 12 gals was absolutely incredible. Again, Emily's feedback from the original show was to come in tighter, so that is exactly what we did, and to get second again, a little bit frustrating, just being nicked by Becky again, but to get second with the look that Emily had was fantastic, and was very happy with that as a second class win. So that was a roundup of all the classes. So that was obviously Brandon, Marnie and Emily, and then The last part of the day, so we will say save the best till last, so was Marnie coming into the overall. Marnie was going to be against Becky again, so Becky did beat her 2 weeks ago in the overall. Marnie was second in the overall, so it was a very, very close showing. The overall kicked off, and there'll be some footage coming up for you guys to watch as well in this, so you can see exactly how that overall went. But Becky was moved into the middle, Marnie moved into the middle. There was 3 gals pretty much in the overall for a majority, and they was worked hard. Front and back shots, being moved to the back of stage, walks to the front, and it was looking like, based on how the normal comparisons work, that Marnie was sitting either second or third, pretty much for a majority of what we were seeing. And then probably 20 seconds before the end, head judge shouted and moved Marnie bang smack in the middle. So for any of you that don't know, how comparisons usually work is that if you are in the middle of the lineup or you end up in the middle of the lineup, that means you, in 90% of cases, are winning. So as soon as Marnie got moved into the middle, I went crazy. I think even 2 of the judges actually turned around and looked at me as if to say, "Are you all right?" Because I literally was screaming, because at that point I'm thinking, okay, this is game on, this is game on. So yeah, we had a couple of comparisons where Marnie being in the middle, and that was end of the overall. So I was patiently sitting there waiting for them to announce the winner. I don't think I've been this nervous for a while. And I could see Marnie literally just standing at the side of the stage thinking, I think she was thinking, I think I might have got this. So yeah, patiently waiting, and then...
The Ifbb Professional League Pro card, and presented to your new Ifbb Pro and winner, Marnie!
And Marnie was announced as the new Ifbb Pro. So an unbelievable achievement for Marnie. Like, it just so good. Like, it actually wells me up a little bit just talking about it. Just, yeah, so happy. You know, she deserved it. You know, the plan was to always bring our best for the Ben Weider. The best bit about this whole thing was Marnie literally from day one just manifested the life out of this. I tried to have conversations with her a couple of weeks prior to this to just kind of say, you know, we just need to plan ahead and just, you know, just in case we don't get it at the Ben Weider. And Marnie, rightly so, point blank refused to talk about it, because she was like, this is going to be my time. And it was her time. And, you know, she absolutely deserved it. So yeah, an incredible win for Marnie. And it doesn't stop there. The next part of the day, which still, again, both of us, we have not stopped talking about since. We have literally talked about it pretty much every day since the show. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, with winning that show at the weekend, what that then meant is that Marnie would then go into the pro show, which was literally straight after the overall in bikini. So there was the One Bro Pro, which is an Olympia qualification show. So a huge standard of athletes come in there to obviously aim to try and qualify for the Olympia. So it meant that Marnie was then going into the show, going into the her first pro show and her pro debut. And to hear her being announced as, you know, on her pro debut and as a pro was just, it's such a great feeling for both Marnie and for me. So yeah, we get off in the pro show, Marnie gets out, struts her stuff, and then they do the first call outs. And because Marnie was the last number, so when you call the first call outs, they will always call out the first 5, but they won't call them out in the order of where they're placing, they will call them out in numerical order. So Marnie being the last number registered, because she just won our pro card that day, she was then the last number called out. So they called Marnie's number out into the first call outs, which meant at this point, Marnie is in the top 5. And, you know, me and Joe, her boyfriend, were just sitting there like, what is going on? Like, even you could tell by Marnie's face, she just couldn't believe it. So yeah, she came out into the first call outs, you know, and she was against gals that have been at the Olympia before. So, you know, to see Marnie up there against them was just amazing. And yeah, so she placed 4th, which scores us some points towards the Olympia, which, you know, it's just crazy. You know, she won her pro card. She's then gone to do an Olympia qualification show, and she's managed to score 4th in her first pro show against, I believe there was 11 gals in total. So amazing. You know, my first pro placing. You know, I've not had anyone compete in a pro show yet. I have 2 other pros, Marnie being my 3rd now, but I've never had anyone place in a pro show before. So a huge achievement for me, as well as Marnie. So an absolutely incredible weekend, full of highs and full of lows, but you know, I couldn't have wished for, I mean, I could have wished for more, of course, but, you know, I'm certainly very, very happy with the outcome for the first Pro Qualifier of the year. So, you know, that brings us to 1 pro card, 2 overalls, 2 first places, 3 second places, just out of 2 shows to start with, which is absolutely incredible. And I'm starting to think that the name of this YouTube series, Statement Season, you know, I think we're getting off to a good start. So, yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. We're going to continue to keep updating you as the show and seasons go on. We've got some great videos coming up and some great content to continue to share with you. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, give us some feedback, send me any DMs of anything you want to see from us. But yeah, otherwise, thanks till next time.